Okay, so I wanted to have a bit of a heart-to-heart with you because I have noticed. So at the beginning of late last year, I was connecting with somebody and we're looking at how to collaborate with them. And they do this amazing thing that I teamed up with them to provide to you. And you know me, I love, love, love to just be honest and be raw in the things that are working, the things that aren't working. And what I discovered, and we'll get to questions that are being asked right now here shortly, so bear with me. But what I discovered was, as I told you about this thing, I encountered a lot of fear from you. And so I wanted to kind of talk through this and make sure that you weren't holding yourself back. So one of the biggest things that I hear all the time is, I want to grow my audience. Duh, right? Like, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a creatorpreneur, if you are trying to do this video thing and help it grow your business, grow a community around you, and at the end of the day, make a bigger difference in the world, that's what I know you to be. And if that's the case, then growing an audience is absolutely a really important way to do this, right? And so you can't really grow your business without growing your audience. And so that at its core is kind of the pivotal, like, front facing piece of this. But I believe the back facing piece is fear in your brains. Have you ever felt fear around stepping out of your comfort zone? And for some of you, so one of the solutions that I have provided you, starting in February, I was showing you, actually, I could actually show this to you if you want, super fast. Okay. Let me just share my screen again, super raw, no pip or anything. But nope, that is not what I wanted to do. My Ecamm on this laptop is so screwed up. Okay, hold on. We're gonna go into preview mode here and show you something. Let's see. Why are you trying to share that? Here we go. All right, there we go. We're going to publish this. All right, so this is what I had shared with you in February. And this is the thing that I partnered with to really help support you, because what they've done is gone through and created this list, this directory of podcasts and shows that want to have you on them as guests to share your value, to share your expertise, and really help you build an audience using an existing audience base of the same kind, right? And so we didn't publish? We didn't publish, of course. There. Why is it still in preview mode? Why are we still in preview mode? What is happening? There we go. Are you seeing it now? So what I discovered when I shared this, because they created this list for you, right? So that it's categorized, and they have done all of the work to gather the contact information of people who own podcasts, who own shows, who are raising their hand and saying, yes, I want to be shared out there with people who have value and expertise to share with my own audience, right? And so when I shared that with you, a lot of people downloaded it, a lot of people were excited by it, but a lot of you just met me back with fear on that, of like, if I got in front of 1,000 people, I would die, because that is so scary to me. If I got known for my expertise, I would be really uncomfortable. If I had to do something I've never done, which is go show up on somebody else's stream or podcast or show and put myself out there for more people that I have existing in my audience, for lots more people, to make fun of me or to judge me, right? That's really what it is at the core. And so I just wanted to tackle this issue head on because I see fear in so many ways from our audience, from you. You're wanting to do videos. That's why you're here in my audience. You're wanting to put yourself out there. You know you need to. Maybe wanting is the wrong word. You know you need to in order to grow an audience, in order to grow your business and make this your full-time thing or sustainable or grow it and scale it. And yet, when it comes to doing the things that I ask you to do to put yourself out there in a bigger stage, it's scary. Can you say yes if that makes sense to you, if you felt that? But I will tell you also the number one thing, that is the number one thing that will get you faster growth with ease. Like you don't have to go find the audience. They're already there. And so if you're not doing that, which can you say I am if you are doing this? Or no, I am not if you have never gone on somebody else's show. And so I would highly, highly encourage you to go download that directory of podcasts because the next thing that people have struggled with when it comes to doing that is they feel like they're making a fool of themselves when they show up, but also on the reach out. Like they don't know how to reach out to people. And in fact, we had this discussion with one of our accelerator program students just recently. He wanted to like interview somebody, so flip that. But he wanted to interview somebody, and if you were trying to show up on somebody else's show, how do you ask? How do you present yourself without being annoying, without ego getting in the way, without you looking like a fool, which is the thing that kind of goes in your head? That is all solved because what I did with this was with this download of the directory. If you download that, then what you get is actually a bonus from me that I have nowhere else of like how to actually reach out to these people, how to put yourself out there, how to be a good guest on the shows so that you provide value and you actually get their audience to show up in your audience, right? So I just wanted to kind of face that problem that I'm seeing and make sure that you're not holding yourself back from being uncomfortable, because I literally remember the first interview I ever did. It was for the biggest podcast at the time. Oh, shoot. Rob Walsh. What was the name of that show? Podcast something. Anyway, I'm screwing that up. But I remember the first time I ever showed up on a podcast back in 2006, probably. And I was so freaking scared. I was nervous. I scripted. I asked for like a list of the questions and I scripted out what I was going to say. And I read from that script on the podcast interview. And I eventually realized that's not the way to go. Let's have a conversation, right? And so I really relaxed into that. But I do want you to remember to go do that this week. Like if you have nothing else going on the weekend, make that your weekend project to reach out to 2 shows. 2 shows is all I ask. At least one on that podcast directory. Watch my bonus and then make sure that you're actually taking action on this, because it delivers big results fast if you do it right. So, yeah, exactly. And then I realized I sounded like I was being held hostage reading off a script. Exactly. Now, I read scripts very well, so people don't know, but at the same time, like it was nerve-wracking. So I get it. I do get it. And when you get it right, and when you can actually show up and just focus on providing value, oh man, the goodness that it does for you, for the other people listening, right? Mike, school got canceled today. Wow, because of ice? Snow and ice still? Renee says, but seriously, I remember I was distinctly listening to Backbreak Weekly on my commute a few years later. I was a guest, then a panelist, then one day I hosted. That shows you the power of this stuff. The opportunities that come from being put out there are incredible for everybody I've ever seen who actually embraces this strategy. Okay, let's see. Speaking of which, oh, what are y'all talking about? Weather? True Luria, Margot says. True Luria. Welcome, Imran and Rehan. I hope I'm saying your names right. I'm Luria Petrucci. I'm really raw streaming today. If you're new around here, you see my studio up that way, but I've got my doggy in the background, and I am just raw today because I'm in the middle of a big video project. So welcome. I'm here live every Friday. I'm here live every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, these videos are going to go well with the language that I'm using. Best episode ever. Okay, fantastic. I love it. All right, we had some questions. So I wanted to, and also I'm just going to call out a life situation and put that in relevance to you. I have a student who had been in exactly this situation of being fearful of putting himself out there and delivering on some of his expertise or knowledge that he's acquired. So as many of you know, my mom late last year broke her hip, and I had spent a lot of time, out of work and helping her through that process. Well, I told him recently, and she just fell again yesterday. She's okay this time, but it's a scary process, right? And then we had to figure out, like, why did her Apple Watch not notify us of the fall and things like that, right? There are all of these things, and I just use my life as an example. But there's this one student that we have who had been through that process and had learned a lot, and his desire was to help people going through this exact situation, so that as your parents are aging, what do you do? What are the things that you do? And I was like, dude, you have to share that. Like, had I not had a brother-in-law who'd been through that already, giving me advice through the entire process, I would have been clueless. I would have missed a lot of things that I've never thought to have to think about, right? And so by putting yourself out there, by putting content out there on the internet, by showing up on other people's shows, by allowing yourself to get uncomfortable, guess what you can do for somebody like me in that situation, or any situation you have expertise in or knowledge about. I could have been helped by that content. And luckily I had somebody by my side, but how many people don't, right? And so I just want to put that into perspective, because it's vitally important that if you want to make a difference in the world, that you take those steps and that you take that action. Okay. Yeah, she did. I don't have the exact details yet, but she is okay. It's one of those things that as soon as one fall happens, more risk. So it's not a comfortable situation by any means, but we're just all, doing what we can from afar, and, when I have to, in person. So, okay, questions. I'll shut up about that, but I definitely I was like, I felt the fear. I felt the uncomfortableness from you guys. And so I just wanted to tackle that head on. So go download that, commit to showing up or to reaching out to 2 shows, whether that's on the directory or not, and make sure that you are putting yourself in uncomfortable situations so that you can make a bigger difference. Okay, I'm getting to your questions now.